Welcome to Kimsey Software's MetalTrax training series. This is video 9, Purchase Orders. Entering Supporting Purchase Orders by Kyle Kimsey.
This is training video 9 in the MetalTrax training video series. This is entering supporting purchase orders. Prior to this video, I did go into your accounts payable and I put in a freight vendor called Yellow Freight. So in case you've seen all the other videos and didn't remember me putting that in, I didn't do that on video, but just so I can show you, because we're going to go put in a supporting purchase order for our freight. So I'm going to come into supporting purchase orders, and the supporting purchase order number, I can type it in or let the system assign it. For my cost type, in this case, I'm going to do freight. Now remember when we defined our inventory cost in the other video, they're also showing here, so you can do a supporting purchase order for slitting, grinding, water jet cutting, whatever you want, whichever one of those costs you set up. So I'm going to do freight. Today's date, I'm going to start to type in yellow. Actually, I just typed in the whole vendor ID. It's yellow. Currency ID is, in this case, my base currency, so I don't have to put anything there. I can just hit enter. And my unit cost in this instance is, let's say they're charging me a certain amount for a lot charge, or I can do per pound charge. So if I knew they were charging me 2 cents a pound, I could say 2 cents a pound, or I could do a lot charge. Usually if you do a per poundage charge here, you can then use it for other purchase orders that are tied to it. But in this case, I'm going to just do 2 cents a pound. Note, I'm going to say, I can do any note on here where I could say pick up from vendor Metalman and deliver material to my location. And then I may tell him what I'm going to have him pick up. Picking up 1/4 inch A36 hot rolled plate. Okay. So I can also use canned comments here. I'm going to save this, but I'm actually going to print it. Just so now these forms can again be any form that you want, but I just have some pretty basic one here. This is a purchase order. It's a purchase order that I can send over to Yellow Freight, telling him what to do and give him the total there. Obviously doesn't have a total yet because it's just 2 cents a pound. Now this is my supporting purchase order. Sometimes metals companies don't want to send their purchase orders and email them over to their freight vendor. That's fine. That was just showing you that you can print it. But now what we're going to do is we're going to go put in my material purchase order from another vendor to another vendor. Let's say we're ordering from Metalman and we're going to have Yellow Freight go pick it up. So I'm going to come to purchases. I'm going to come over to enter purchase orders. And in this instance, I'm going to hit enter. It's going to assign my next available PO. I'm going to come down and I'm going to type in metal here because I'm going to choose my Metalman. Let's say when they're going to ship it, and I'm going to, in this case, ship and receipt date, I'm going to put today because over here, when the deliverer, direct ship or will call, I'm going to put it so will call because we're going to have somebody go pick it up. And so right here, I'm going to say over down here, you notice I can even do the pickup address change. So if the pickup's from different vendor, but in this case, that's fine. I can also right here, non-material cost, I can say right here for the freight, I want to use a third party or supporting PO. In this case, I can then go over and type in my supporting PO 20003, and that's my supporting PO to Yellow Freight. I can then change this if I want for my unit cost, but what I sent over to the vendor was 2 cents a pound. So I'm going to save this. Now I get into my order detail. We've been through the material purchase order before, so I'm going to put my plate, choose my 1/4 inch plate, and in this case, let's say I'm ordering 35 pieces of a standard 48 by 96 size at, let's say, $38 a hundredweight. When I do that, it's going to give my extended cost of $4,345.21. That does not include my freight yet, so watch, I'm going to do order finished. At this point, I could print my purchase order and then, of course, email it or send it over to my Metalman vendor. And then let's say I'm noticing, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not telling him anywhere on here that who's going to pick it up. So if I wanted to do that, I could either pull back up the order And I could put a little note, an order note or a line note, and I say material will be picked up by yellow freight. Okay? And remember, as I told you on one of the other videos, now let's go print that again. Now when we're previewing it here, now you'll see that I told you the order notes can print above the lines or below the lines. That's just a form, so it's just telling them that material is going to be picked up by yellow freight. So now when yellow freight goes and picks up the material and delivers it to us, I'm going to do order finished here. We're going to get out of this purchase order. And now the material, yellow freight brings it in. Our guys out in the shop just notice, oh, there's the material. So they, of course, just go in and receive in the PO for the material. They're not worried about the freight vendor. And so they put in that they're receiving in the material. In this case, let's keep it simple. We'll put in a heat number. And then we'll also go down and we'll put in number of pieces was 35. Come down and I'm going to put in that it came from Nucor, that it was United States, and that my grade was A36. At this point, I'm going to do line finished, and I'm going to receive it in. Now, what happened in the background, this is receiving in all, as well as it's creating a pending liability for that yellow freight. So watch when I go do a print job, print receiving. I print the receiving, and you notice there's my material, but in this instance, it added the $2 of freight to the 2 cents a pound for the freight. So it took the theoretical weight and it multiplied it by the 2 cents a pound, and hence that's why I've got my extended cost, which is more. The total cost for the material is only $4,346, but with the freight it's $4,573. Now, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to post that receiving. Keep note of this tag 50065, because I'm going to go show you something when we receive this in. So I'm going to post it. You notice I did nothing with receiving in on the yellow freight. That was all in the background. I post it, and it posted successfully. Now, we haven't gone into our inventory control video yet, but just for a brief moment, I'm going to come to inventory, come down to inquiries. I'm going to look at my inventory inquiry just to show you how that supporting purchase order cost hit the tag. So I'm going to come down and I'm going to type in my tag 50065, the one I told you to remember. And now this is one of my inventory detail screens, and you notice right here it says the 11,000 pounds with a cost of over $40 a hundredweight. So let's look at the bottom of the screen, and I can then say, if I move this up, I can look at my cost detail. You notice that it says that it's $38, and notice the $2 a hundredweight. Hence, when it back calculates, there's your extended cost, and you have $38 per hundredweight for the unit cost and $2 per hundredweight for the freight, coming up with a total of $4,573.91. So that is how you enter supporting purchase orders. Stay tuned for our other videos. The next video will be training video 10.